What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Variant the Podcast. I'm kind of tired. I'm going to be honest.
I am too.
I don't know what it is.
It's the freaking busyness.
Yeah.
So for everybody who's listening and watching, we are working like pretty much around the clock these days because of the holidays. The holidays are a very busy time for everyone.
Yeah.
It is very much so here at Triune Films, not just for Variant, but we have our Triune Digital Store, which is keeping us very active and busy around the holiday sales and so forth. But then, of course, Variant, we're all in our other show, Film Right. We're trying to get ahead for our holiday break because we shut everything down at the end of the year, let everybody get time with their families at the end of the year. It's just kind of a holiday tradition for us here. So we are swamped. And then on top of that, we are leaving for Orlando to go to Walt Disney World to check out Rise of the Resistance. So it is a very busy time. So Arris and I both, I think, are in the same slump.
Yes, and as much as I love Christmas and everything, it's like I put up the Christmas lights outside this weekend.
Did you do that this weekend?
I did it this weekend, which I love it and all, but it's like when it's all said and done, you're like, I'm tired. Because like I'm the guy who tries to go like all out with it, where I enter into like the community like competitions.
That's right.
For my house to like potentially win best lights, so I'm always trying to put like new additions.
You were so upset the first time you did it,
dude,
because you
objectively
you got
I
robbed by an older woman.
From an older lady. Objectively, I should have won. Like I'm not trying to like throw any stones.
Don't try and
here.
rob grandma of her victory.
It was one of those things where she was an older single lady. So it was more like Merry Christmas and not like...
That's understandable. It is the season of perpetual hope.
But if you're going to hold a but if you're going to hold a contest, it should be on merit and merit alone.
So to sum up, Arris wants his trophy, lady.
Yeah, I'm coming after
coming
this
for
year,
it.
2019.
But yeah, it does. When you're decorating, I didn't do the outside lights yet. I always go waver back and forth on whether or not my kids, of course, are always like, "Oh, can we do it at the end?" And then I'm like, "Yeah or no," or "Yeah or no." So sometimes I go up and sometimes they don't.
Do you do the roof or anything? Do you go like
no?
You don't get into
no,
it?
I feel like I'm getting close to that point where I'm gonna get real bougie and I'm gonna hire someone to do it. And I'm just gonna bring somebody out, just like, whatever, man, just put them up and make the kids smile. I don't, whatever.
Dude, that stuff's expensive. It's like
I looked into it is a couple $100.
Yeah,
which
depending
is
on how
expensive.
elaborate you go.
Yeah.
I know in our neighborhood a couple of people they just do the roofs where they line it, they do the outlines, like all the sharp angles of it, and it's like $300, $400, $500.
Yeah,
from $300 to $500.
Which
just
is
to do
like
the roof.
this is like serious first world problems.
Yeah. But it's like part of the fun is like doing it with your family.
No, it totally is. But because we do the inside, like it's tradition, like the weekend after Christmas or the following week. We do the inside. So we did do all that. We did all the inside of our house and put the Christmas tree up and all that stuff. And that's kind of like our big tradition. We put on Christmas music or like Home Alone plays in the background, and
which is on Disney Plus.
It is, yeah. Thanks to the Fox purchase, yeah. But yeah, so we do that, and that's like our big tradition. So the outside always is secondary for me, and but either way, it's exhausting.
Yeah. Do you have a fake tree or do you do a real
we
tree?
Did. We broke down and we got a fake tree a couple of years ago.
Last year we broke down and bought a fake tree.
Did you?
Yeah, last year was our first year we got a fake tree because we were just like...
It's like once you do it, you're like, why didn't I do this so long ago? Because these new freaking trees, they're like...
They look better than the real ones.
They really do. They look better, and people that come to our house, they have a hard time telling that it's not real.
It was the allergy thing, which was big for us because my wife and daughter had bad allergies. And you just hear all the health things because you're having a dead tree your living room for like a month. It gets mold, all the spores and all that crap. And then the water gets all murky.
My wife is like a big nature person. She loves the outdoors and plant. I mean, she's really into all that stuff. So she loves it's all about the smell. Oh, it just smells so piney.
They have spray for that.
That's right. Just get Febreze. Just get one of the plugins. Yeah, but now that we have it, it's like this was so much easier.
Never go back. And it's just
you don't have to pry that 7-foot tree through your front door with 850,000 pine needles that go everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Or for me, we didn't have an SUV last year. We just got an SUV this recent year. So I had to tie it on like the roof of my sedan. That was fun.
Yeah. I will say there is there's of course the novelty and the nostalgia of the family going to like a tree farm. We found that one year where you actually got to cut it down yourself, know. And that is fun. That's very memorable. It's just the getting it in and out. And then, like you said, you do have a real tree in your house. So if you have allergies or whatever, that's a problem.
Yeah.
but it's just so much easier.
It is.
And you don't got to put lights on them.
Well, mine, I didn't get one.
You didn't get the lit one?
Because my wife is a Nazi with the lights.
Oh.
Like, it has to be a very certain way. And, like, she likes to be able to change, like, because I know there's the ones where you could go from white to, like, multicolored.
That's the one we have.
But she is very, like, every little hole. Because even if we got one that was pre-lit, she would still buy the strands.
Still add lights to it.
So it's just like, you buy the strands for, like, $250.
All right, well, that's right. I went super lazy. And I got the one that already has the lights that switch colors and everything.
Is that annoying if a bulb breaks though? Remember that was like a thing. If one bulb breaks, the whole strand's out.
It hasn't happened. We've had it for this is our 3rd year, I think, using this tree.
Probably like LED
and it hasn't
now,
happened.
Though, right? We're not like
they are LED
okay,
lights.
So,
yeah.
It's
so it's gonna last like forever.
You gotta find like in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah,
you gotta find that one bulb.
Go through each strand. You have 1 or 2 people that are purely dedicated to fixing the lights, or just me. Like in my case, I was just me as sitting there like trying to untangle 15 strands of lights.
Yeah, I'm excited though. I'm excited for Christmas.
It's fun to be. It's Christmas time, and that's always cool.
And
my kids are like crazy excited.
Yeah. I do need a train for my tree though. I want to get the Polar Express train.
I have one.
You have the Polar Express
I didn't put it up this year because we have family coming into town for the holidays. So we're gonna have like 5 extra people. So the gifts are gonna like
overflow.
Yeah, it's gonna be like more than usual.
Is it the Polar Express train?
Yeah.
Oh, that's legit.
It's the no. Oh, the Lionel one.
The line, yeah.
No.
Movie.
It says Polar Express, but it's like the cheap version. It's like the knockoff,
the not $500 one.
Yeah, it's like run by a drunk polar bear.
That one or Hogwarts Express.
That's the one that I wanted.
That'd be really cool.
I want the Hogwarts Express, but the Polar Express one is cool too.
But that's our little brief rant of our Christmas traditions. I guess I don't know traditions.
Hey,
I don't know.
It's Christmas time. We're past Thanksgiving. It's officially Christmas time. It's exciting.
But we do have. I thought so. The other day you were in your office, and I was like, Tim, I got a cool idea for some of us to talk about on the podcast. So
kind of a fun thing.
Yeah, comic book names. There's so many. And as we've learned over the year, which we knew before, but like when you have a show on YouTube and you're constantly putting stuff up to thousands of people every week, if you mispronounce something, they're gonna let you know.
Every time.
They're
without
gonna
fail,
let you know. Like,
and we get names wrong all the time,
days.
as does anyone who tries to pronounce names in comic.
Well, comics is like a special place because now we have a lot of cartoons and live action movies and stuff, but for the most part, and even just there's still way more comics than there is movies and shows like that. So you don't necessarily know how this stuff is pronounced a lot of the time for the weird ones,
right?
Because you're not hearing it. It's not a movie. It's not a TV show. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, more recent years, as comics are getting more popular, we're starting to see stuff more in Titans. We're like, oh, that's how they said that, or in cartoons and stuff. But growing up and stuff, you kind of just had to guess. You're like, I think that's how you say that, even though it's like Arabic or whatnot. So
you were reliant on either the publisher, the creator saying it somewhere in an interview, or hopefully it shows up on one of your favorite animated series.
Exactly.
But now we are helped quite a bit with the movies and the television.
For sure.
There's so much of it now. So we are helped quite a bit, but still.
So I thought it would be fun to compile a little list of names that are commonly like people argue about. They're commonly missaid, I guess.
Yeah.
Or ones that are just controversial because there's some people who are like, no, it's this, not that.
Yeah.
So we're just start right here. So
this is just comics.
This is just comics.
Like if you get into like anime.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah. So this is purely just basically Marvel and DC.
Yeah. Okay.
The big two.
Gotcha.
All right. So first one, it's more of a new one, which is from Donny Cates. Null.
No.
But so it is null. It is null.
Right. We know that for a fact.
But a lot of people up front were arguing that it's null. Like that was an actual argument.
So do they also pronounce it Kano?
Yeah.
I Kano you?
I have no idea, but I remember when we did the origin of the symbiote god, which is null episode, there was a lot of people like, it's not null. It's not null. And then, they would spell it out as you're supposed to pronounce it.
Yeah.
They're like, null. And I'm like, no, that's not it.
A lot of the times the internet is at fault with a lot of this stuff too. Because we'll get corrected. Sometimes we are wrong.
Right.
But we'll get corrected sometimes and we're not wrong. And it's that there's so many different people that pronounce things so differently all over the place. Then it shows up on Reddit or whatever, and it gets into this like hive mind, and there's like groups that decide, no, it's pronounced like this. You kind of have to go to the source and try and find, okay, what did the creators say when they talk about it?
100%. He actually, Donnie Cates got tweets and stuff about it. People, asking him how to pronounce it.
That's hilarious.
He was like, this is how you pronounce it. So, but that is a good plus now too. Within the last 10 years or so, with social media becoming so popular, you can literally just message the creators and be like, hey, how do you say this?
That's true.
Where, in 1992, that wasn't a thing.
And they answer, which is great.
Yeah. Really, really cool. So that one. The next one up is probably one of the most controversial ones still. And to me, it's very much like tomatoes type thing, which is Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
So
we've actually said both on the show.
I say it all the time. Yeah, I even say that I say both because I think it's very much tomatoes. I don't think either one is wrong.
Didn't they say there's no wrong, like either one?
Yeah, in Batman Beyond animated series, we actually used that clip when Talia al Ghul is talking to Terry. She basically says something. It's Raish, not Raz. Common misconception.
Right.
So it's Raish. So from that alone, you could be like, it's Raish. But, so many people call him Raz. In Batman Begins, he's called Ra's al Ghul.
That's what I was about to say. In Nolan's films, though, he was called Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, and then I believe in the Arkham games, it's also Raish as well. So
that's like...
But it's like tomatoes.
Yeah.
So it's weird, like, when you say that, and like if I was to say Raz, people in the comments are going to be like, it's Raish. If I was to say Raish, people in the comments are going to be like, it's Raz or Raz.
Right.
There's like 3 different ways to say it, I guess.
So for everyone who's calling him Ra's al Ghul, you're right. For everyone calling him Ra's al Ghul, you're right as well.
Exactly. So
congratulations, we're all fine.
But I thought it was funny that it was such a big deal in the comic book community that Paul Dini, famed comic book writer and cartoon writer, Batman animated series, and all that fun stuff, had to put it in an episode.
Right.
Basically making Talia al Ghul herself tell Terry, Batman Beyond, this is how you say my father's name.
he felt the need to correct it for the record.
This one is really fun. Next one, because this one actually kind of annoyed me a bit because I'm like, I feel like that one's so obvious. Dark Side, as we all know, it's Dark Side.
This one surprised me.
A lot of people, I don't want to say a lot. There's a good amount of people that say Dark Seed instead of Dark Side.
Yeah, I've heard people pronounce it that way, and I didn't realize that as many people did as
it's weird.
Discovered.
Right? I remember I was
because it's such a prominent name,
right? Because that one's in cartoons a lot.
Yeah.
He's a very, very popular villain. I was at a comic book shop getting my pull list a few years ago, and I actually pre-ordered a Dark Side action figure.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who worked at the comic book shop was like, "Oh, is this your Dark Seed?" I'm like, it took me off guard a little bit because it was one of the
What'd
first.
you say about my kid?
It was one of the first times I really heard someone say it like in person. And I was like, "Oh yeah, Dark Side," and he kind of looked at me like I was the wrong one. And I didn't say anything. It's like, whatever, bro. But it was funny that we were kind of like at a standstill. I was like, is it Seed or Side? And I'm like, go watch the Bruce Timm cartoons. It's definitely Side.
You were questioning your own.
It's like, go have an argument with Paul Dini and Bruce Timm and all the people.
Yeah, that one seems like an obvious one.
Yeah, Constantine.
I don't get this one either.
That's another, but that's one. A lot of people like to do Tyne.
Because the thing is that Constantine isn't limited to comic books.
No.
The name Constantine.
For sure.
Like that that's a name that goes back to history.
For sure.
So I don't get the mispronunciation. To that point, and that is the problem with names in comics is that you'll get words that are pronounced typically grammatically a specific way, but the comic creators will intentionally pronounce it another way. They will have their own. It's kind of like how people do with kids' names now.
Yes.
Where they'll take words and they'll put it together. Oh no, it says it's pronounced like this, but it's spelled like that. And you're like, that does not.
that don't make no sense.
Yeah. It's like Aaron.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's like, but they do that a lot in comics. And so I kind of get where people might want to assume that a word is pronounced like some unique way,
right?
As opposed to the way it's actually written. But Constantine has been around so long. It's like Dark Side. It's like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I've always said Constantine or Tyne. Now I'm confused myself. I've always said I don't know what I've always said. This is what happens when we get so deep into it.
This is what goes on Reddit.
Constantine, boom.
Constantine, yep.
This one makes total sense because this one is not a real word at all. This is actually, I think, is more controversial
I still can't
Ra's al
pronounce
Ghul
it.
or Ra's al Ghul. Mix yes Spitlick.
Mix yes Spitlick.
Now, a lot of people who are listening are probably like, that's not how you say it though, Arris. That's not that's not the right pronunciation. Now I go by Superman the Animated Series because again, like I grew up with all like Superman the Animated, basically the DC like universe. That's a massive part of what got me into actual comic books.
Right.
So like that's like my first love or entry into the comic book world. But in Superman the Animated Series, is it Goffrey? What's that guy's name? The comedian Jim Goffrey.
Oh man, you just made me totally forget his name. Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried. He voiced Mixia Spitlick in the series. Right. And in the episode he was in, he basically is trying to, he's playing that game with Superman, and he tells Superman how to pronounce his name, and he literally shows like icon. He says mix. He shows a blender mixing, spit. He spits at Superman, and then a dog licking, lick. So mix. Well, it's mix. Yes, spit, lick. And that's literally how. So I'm like, yeah, that's how you say it.
Yeah, we've actually showed that clip several times on the show.
Yeah. So I'm like, there it is. But a lot of people, I don't even know how other people pronounce it. But I'm like, that is good enough for me. If they put it in that, Superman the Animated Series, which is one of the most beloved DC cartoons of all time. That's how you say it.
They literally broke it down.
Right.
But it is the most understandable one because if you see how it's spelled, it's MXYZPTLK.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I mean, it's crazy.
But if you break it up that way, MX, mix, YZ, yes, and then PT, pit, and then
that's
lick.
Not how you would pronounce. That's not grammar. That's like letter vomit. Yes. It's like, come on, man. Now you're just messing with people.
He's an imp. Well,
Yeah, it's whatever.
This one is another weird. Orion. But a lot of
which again for me that's an easy one because it's a constellation for the love of God.
Yes, some people say Orion though.
Yeah, like an Oreo.
That one.
Those are
like
people that really
more
love
like
cookies.
Well, those people are just flat wrong. Yeah. But it is a thing.
Again, it falls into the camp of like it's comics, it's a different character, so maybe you want to pronounce it a little different or whatever. But it is Orion.
Yeah, so that one's like whatever.
Whatever.
And then Mjolnir, Thor's hammer.
Mjolnir.
That one a lot of people get wrong.
But it's because of the spelling.
100%.
It's a Norse.
It's Norse,
yeah.
But I was just like mule, like a mule, like an animal, and then near, like you're near me.
Right. But you have to know how like their grammatical phrasing works.
It's definitely one you have to learn for sure. I remember
it's got a J in it.
Yeah,
that's what throws everybody off.
It's understandable. It's just definitely one that a lot of people either get wrong or they're like, no, you said that wrong.
Yeah.
When like you said, when you go look at what Norse mythology, like how they actually, pronounce it in their alphabet.
And that, again, that's one of those, that's kind of an easy one because, again, that's something that not only is it in Marvel Comics, but Marvel Comics took almost all of that mythology 100%. From Norse mythology. So it's like you can go back and find that from a number of different sources. It's actually shocking when you get into like Thor. If you go and if you don't put the comics down and you just go pick up like Norse mythology and culture and you just start reading it. And their stories and their folklore and the stories they would tell their kids and stuff like that. It's Marvel Comics. It's Thor comics, like almost to a T. I mean, they
just bucked it.
They literally took so much of it and just took direct interpretations and then put them into the comic book.
It makes sense.
The Marvel comic book.
It's like everyone, even DC has their own version of like Thor and Hercules and all that stuff. So it's public domain.
Yeah. No, but it's very cool to see how much they interpreted. Because again, So, there are people that obviously know Norse mythology, but most people don't, I would say. A lot of people. But it's cool to see how much of that, that historic folklore and that mythology just easily translated into what is our modern mythology, really, like through comic books.
Yeah. No, it's super, super interesting.
Yeah.
Next one up, though. This one hits a little close home because we just recently did an episode on it, and Watchmen is currently a TV series on HBO. So yes. Ozymandias. There we go.
Ozymandias.
But a lot of people say Ozymandias.
Ozymandias.
I say Ozymandias. That's what I say.
Ozymandias.
Because it's spelled Ozyma.
It's also the way they pronounce it in the show.
Right, Ozymandias.
Ozymandias.
But as we know, this episode literally just went up like a month ago. We did an origin of Ozymandias. Yeah. And a lot of people are like, no, Arris. Why do you say it that way? I hate that you say it that way. Yeah. I'm like, that's how they say it. That's how they said it in the movie. That's how they say it in the show. That's how I'm going to say it. Ozymandias.
I mean, really, it falls into the kids. Like, who cares?
Right? It is one of those things like it's Ozymandias. Like, you know what I'm saying.
Ozymandias. I'm
going to stay on the side of Ozymandias, though.
Yeah, I would just keep pronouncing it the way that they say it in the movies and television.
Right.
Show. And also that's the way it's pronounced for the actual character and history and mythology.
All right.
Ozymandias.
Well, we got one more. Last one, Dakin. Dakin, some people say Dakin, which is Wolverine's son.
Which is understandable because it's double K.
Yeah, so it's D-A. Is it double K? D-A.
I thought it was, isn't it? Is it or am I
think it's, let's see. It's 1K. D-A-K-E-N.
Oh, okay. Am I, you know what? I think I'm thinking about, what is the Street Fighter character?
Oh, now you made me, I know what you're talking about.
I think that's the one that I'm thinking about. It has double K.
Okay.
I had like a brain
Wait, like
fart.
Tekken?
Yeah,
Tekken? Okay, the fight.
No, is it Tekken?
No? Well, it's a fighting game. It's not
That's
Street
not
Fighter.
Street Fighter.
No, but it's a fighting game.
I don't know, man.
Anyway.
Before I
Dakin,
stick my foot in my mouth, I'm going to move on.
D-A-K-E-N. Are you Dakin or Dakin?
D-A-K-E-N.
Yeah, Dakin or Dakin?
I would say Dakin.
I think I'll say Dakin too.
Yeah.
But you could understand day though too, because the E makes the A day, right? You could do that.
Well, no.
You don't think so? You can't.
Dakin.
So you don't think but from a grammar standpoint, you don't think that you could be like, I could see why people say day.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Dakin.
That one I'm actually don't really have a side on. I'm like, I don't know. That
Dakin,
one to me is
Dakin.
tomatoes. I don't think I've ever heard it said in a cartoon or anything either.
Yeah. Dakin.
Actually, he was, I think, in a Spider-Man
Dakin.
cartoon. I love how you're just.
Well, actually, no, it would be Dakin. So with D-A-K-E-N.
Yeah, Dakin.
Yeah. So like taken or making.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, because you're literally swapping
Kind of
out
like
the
bacon, but different.
It probably is Dakin then. Like, that is a good way to. That's why I was saying, like, the E makes the A day, because if like taken, you're literally just swapping the
so
T
it'd
for
be
a
Dakin.
D. So it's Dakin.
Dakin. This is riveting, by the way.
we solved
This
it.
is riveting entertainment right here. Is it Dakin or Dakin? Well, no, because taken or making.
I don't know. I'm just like that.
Okay, I'm going to land on Dakin.
Dakin. Okay, I'm gonna stay with that too, because my original argument.
because double Ks would make it Dakin. Yes.
But again, the E would makes the A day.
Correct.
Just like for
So
taken.
Dakin.
But Dakin.
Yes. We've solved it.
There we go.
We've broken the riddle.
And that is the end of our list.
There is a much longer. To be
For sure.
To be fully transparent, we didn't make a long one. It's not a long list.
No. It was enough to get some juices flowing.
And to get an idea of what we're talking about. There's just a lot of names because there are some crazy, crazy names in comics.
For sure. I just
some of which we couldn't include on the list because we still don't know how to pronounce them.
No, and it's just kind of interesting it's like one of those things.
You know what we should do? We should actually create like a comic book word of the day or something like that, where we can actually find a comic book word that's commonly mispronounced, find the actual pronunciation of the word, and then give
That'd be really funny.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can actually say, this is definitively how this word is pronounced for those of you listening. We could do that. We could do something like that, like on a regular, maybe not weekly, but from time to time, throw it in.
We can make that like a calendar that we throw up on the store.
No joke.
Forget normal words of the day. This is your comic book word of the day.
Comic book word of the day.
365 words. Think we can do it?
God, I don't want to do it.
It'd be a lot of words.
That's a lot. That's too much.
But we got some really cool news this weekend that I was really excited about. Actually, it was before this weekend. And when you're listening to this, it's actually going to be like a week and a half old. But Black Adam, the movie, as we all know, that's going to be a movie with The Rock, starring The Rock. The Rock confirmed that the JSA is going to be in that movie.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
That's pretty insane and unexpected.
I know.
Very
I'm
unexpected.
So excited. Apparently, we're going to get Dr. Fate
in
there, Stargirl, possibly some Jay Garrick. Or
how do you feel about that?
About what?
About them introducing these characters in the Black Adam movie.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to get the characters.
Right. You mean like just like the JSA could totally have their own movie is like what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see how they're going to tie it in because like DC seems like they're doing everything backwards where like.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
Man.
Like I'm kind of used to it, I guess, by now where like instead of giving these characters their own movies and establishing them first, they give you like a bit and then spin out and give them their own movie. So initially I was just like, oh, I want to see some Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
I want to see like Stargirl, like Jay Garrick, Alan Scott, all that stuff. So, or Wildcat would be really dope too. But like, I don't know. I'm just, the fanboy in me is really excited because I want to see these characters on the big screen. But the fanboy in me was really excited for Justice League.
Right.
So I don't know. Man, why you gotta bring me down, Tim?
So I'm just trying to roll it back to reality because here's my problem with it. My problem is I feel like that's a step backwards to what we just came from with what they tried to do with the Justice League and all of that, which was try to do too much too fast.
Right.
But also it's like we've never seen these characters we've seen them live action, some of them, but not together as the JSA for sure. But also not on the big screen. This is their first, and for them to just kind of appear in the Black Adam movie, it's like, okay, well, in what capacity? How long are we going to be seeing them? Are they going to play a major role in the story? Why the Black Adam outside of, is this like because it's The Rock and he wants this big spectacle epic? And so they're going really big with it
to bring more attention to it.
Right. I guess in a more broad sense, is it just because of that and the rest of the kind of overall DCEU be damned? You know what I mean? Or is this the smartest way forward for the overall, story universe? Because this is going to be in continuity with other films. This isn't going to be like The Joker where it's a spin-off. This is in continuity with the Shazam film, and it's eventually going to come into, the mix with Wonder Woman and all Aquaman and everything else, because they're going to continue to live on.
I'm curious to see, did they confirm, because they're very hush-hush as of late with the whole DCEU.
Very much so,
I haven't heard, even with, Wonder Woman and stuff like that, that's getting pushed back. That's been delayed. We know that, obviously, she's going to be in it because, she's already been in, 3 other films. But they're not that was a big push for them. They're not pushing the synergy anymore. They're just, even in Shazam, we knew... there was little hints here and there, but you didn't even see Superman's face at the end. He was in it, but they were very unsure about what's gonna happen with Cavill and stuff like that. So they're like, well, we know we're always gonna have a Superman, so we'll just cut off his head and you see him from shoulders down. So I'm very, very curious, but I think maybe a significant role, because rumor also has it that Michael Fassbender is being eyed for Dr. Fate,
which is insane because he was Magneto.
Yeah, that's Marvel. They do crossover.
But I'm saying it's the same type of character with the mask.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? I don't look.
I think he would be a fantastic
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, he would be a fantastic.
So I would not
Dr.
be.
Fate.
But I'm kind of like, dude, that's basically the same character you just play. Okay, not power wise.
No,
not power wise, but he has DC, a similar look.
It's like DC's Doctor Strange, though. He'd be more of a mystical arts, which would be really dope. Plus, Michael Fassbender, like you said, is good in anything.
I don't know. I guess I'm just,
and we wouldn't see his
I'm going to
face.
be negative now because I'm just kind of rubbed wrong with this the idea of now we're just going to throw the entire JSA into a Black Adam movie, and Black Adam is the main character.
Right. I don't know. I mean, it seems like we're going to get several, but maybe not all, maybe 2 or 3. Maybe we'll get Stargirl, Dr. Fate, and let's say I don't know, Wildcat. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I'm a little more optimistic just because I'm trying to be, but also the recent movies have been good. You got the Joker, Shazam, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Matt Reeves' Batman's in the works. So all those were good, and the ones that are still in production are very promising. So I'm hopefully they got it going.
I guess my negativity is just coming from a place of I really just want to see them take their time and tell these very rich stories in a methodical way.
Yeah.
I want to see a Dr. Fate movie where they tell us the origin story on the big screen. We get to focus on that character because he has such a deep, rich origin story. And it's like freaking Indiana Jones
this would be so cool.
Meets, Doctor Strange. It's so cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I would just hate to see that robbed, and you could go on with the other characters. Same thing. Jay Garrick.
No, for sure. Anyone who's seen Young Justice, Dr. Fate, was a pretty prevalent character throughout the series.
Right.
And that would be awesome to see, a solo Dr. Fate movie. I do agree. I wish in a perfect world that they would go the Marvel route where they gave all the characters they wanted to use their solo movies and then, go together for a Justice League movie, a Justice League Dark movie, a JSA movie.
Yeah.
But, we're so far in. They're still we're going to wait 10 years to, another 10 years to get our end game. You know what I mean?
I guess. There's still time to do it, because with Marvel moving into this next phase and there's a lot of uncertainty around what, that sounds even more negative. There's some uncertainty around what Marvel is doing next. Is it going to be as good as the first 10 years? That's to be seen. Is the audience going to take to it the same way they did, the Infinity Saga? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. They've been fantastic in almost everything that they've done.
Right.
And very smart. But I would just like to see DC take their time. And now with the new streaming platforms they have coming out with HBO Max and what have you, they have the ability to do kind of like what Marvel's doing with Disney Plus, to have do theatrical quality series like mini series, like maybe an 8, 9, 10 episode series for like a Dr. Fate, or break out the JSA, do origin stories, and then integrate them and use the same actors, same characters, and integrate them into the broader DCEU on the big screen. They have the capability of doing that. So, DC, I give you the benefit of the doubt, but I would really like to see them, be more elaborated.
To be fair, too, I guess I should have read the quote from The Rock earlier, because he did say, this is him, quote, when he was asked about the JSA, quote, JSA, we will introduce that, the world of the JSA. So a lot of it is people kind of running with it, although there is rumors of Michael Fassbender and Dr. Fate. But from judging purely on that one sentence, that doesn't necessarily mean
that we're going to see them all.
Right. It just means, we might get a little Easter egg to set up like for a JSA movie, like you said. So,
they might just introduce the idea that the JSA exists.
Right. Or like just give us Dr. Fate, and then that branches out to everyone else.
Which is interesting, because that means we're going back in time.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
So
very, very cool.
That kind of excites me more.
Actually, do you think the Black Adam movie now is going to be, that's why he's getting a solo movie, it's going to be more of a prequel?
Well, that's what they said.
So like, did I totally miss that?
That's what he didn't say it was a prequel.
Okay.
He said that the story is too big to be told in one film.
Okay.
So clearly, and we talked about this before, where, it's clear that The Rock wanted a movie that was focused on his character.
Yes, because
I am totally good with. That's what I'm saying. I want to see that. If they're going to tell a story about Black Adam that just gives his origin from like years prior, we're back in time, and it shows all the way leading up to what the events of Shazam. So his movie is in the past, and it leads up to his captivity. And then the end is the events of Shazam. That is very cool. My issue with The Rock playing Black Adam is what we talked about before, which is I want to make sure that The Rock is able to pull off Black Adam. I say I want to make sure as if I have anything to do with it.
You're a Warner Brothers exec.
Yeah, I would like. I'm just worried that The Rock is going to just be The Rock, and it's just going to be, the story's going to be told in a way that's just meant to emphasize him in a specific way, because Black Adam is a villain. He is a villain.
Yes.
He has done anti-hero things, but he's largely a villain. And I want to see him be a villain. And The Rock is like, well, he's a hero, but just one that doesn't do things the way that you would like all the time.
Right, yeah.
And so I don't want The Rock to
he's very much like
rock it up and change it.
He's probably like, well, this is going to be a franchise. He's not going to be a one and done villain like in the most of the Marvel
I hope
villains.
not. He's an amazing villain.
Right.
He shouldn't be.
So maybe that's, he's establishing like he wants to be like the Loki of the DCEU, a villain that's going to be there for like the long haul.
And if they make it to where he's like a Thanos, to where he thinks he's a good guy,
Darkseid needs to be the Thanos.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with that. But my point is if they go that route where he's like a Thanos, where he thinks he's the good guy, right? He thinks he's doing things for the greater good.
Well, I would imagine that's completely what it is, because that's kind of like what his story is in the comic books.
Exactly right. So if they go that route, and that's what he means by that, that he's a hero, but one that doesn't play by the books, and he's just kind of spinning it. You know what I mean? And they do go the comic book route where he's a villain, but he thinks he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He thinks he's doing what he has to do.
Yeah.
Then that would be good. I think that's dope, and that would be everything we want.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of curious to see what happens with it, Yeah. I don't know.
There's a lot to be seen.
There's a lot to be seen. And I'm more curious too, just with this one statement, the whole JSA thing. Like, I want to know what that means. Like, I kind of hope it is just a little tease. Like, maybe we just, like, Dr. Fate is just in it. Or because it is, if it is based in the past, that's why it's a thing. So I'm very curious to see how they play with that, or if they introduce like a multiverse.
Right.
That would be, imagine that would be crazy, because then that would explain a lot of things, like where the Joker lives and all that stuff. I'm very big on the DC doing the multiverse stuff.
And it also, like, you have to imagine that they're going to have to address what happened when BVS, Justice League at some point, if they're going to continue with Wonder Woman and Aquaman. with the Flash in any capacity with Miller.
Right.
So it's kind of like, there's just a lot left, a lot to be seen, a lot we don't know about what Warner is going to do with the DC films, with the storylines. Are they going to bring, now we've got this Joker movie that just did gangbusters and it was total Elseworld stuff.
$1 billion, crazy.
Yeah. And so it's, there's a lot that we have to learn, but his comments were definitely very interesting. I just would like to see them roll it out. Like I think most fans would like to see this. Which is just have them roll it out in a way that's fair to each individual character. We get to see some elaboration on each individual character, and it's kind of a long form story, not trying to rush to get to something. You know what I mean?
Well, in time we'll see. Like, I mean, again, going back to what I was saying earlier, I'm just more optimistic because I have been liking DC's more recent stuff.
That's true. Yep.
So, and Suicide Squad, that's another one. Suicide Squad and the new Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
So those are actually all. I don't know how I feel about the Harley Quinn movie though. I don't want to get into that.
I'm not even going to get into that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that's another 20-minute rant. We'll talk about that another time when we get a new trailer. But staying in the DC universe, Michael B. Jordan apparently met with Warner Brothers about him playing Superman in his own solo Superman movie, which is extremely interesting. I love Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, me too.
And I like these Elseworld things that DC's because I feel like this could be another Elseworld type thing.
Yeah,
like much like the Joker movie where that was like, oh, that's not in continuity,
right?
Because hopefully Cavill's still the DCEU Superman, because I love me some Cavill. He clearly has been making statements recently that he still wants to play Superman. So I would imagine this, Michael Jordan's like, hey, I like this. I like the character. There's a black Superman in the comics. Let's do it. It'll make money. I'm Michael B. freaking Jordan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I said this to you when we found out a while back. I love Michael B. Jordan, and almost any kind of Superman story I'm 100% down for. My only thing about it would be I would like to see them give Superman a really good film with Cavill.
Yeah, I agree. 100%
Prior to doing that, before we get into Elseworld Superman, let's give Cavill a really, because Man of Steel was good, but it was very much inside the Snyder universe. And then BVS was for me was hit or miss. It had its moments, but overall, it was a miss for me. And then same thing with Justice League. That was just a Frankenstein, that never really got to see what it was intended to be. So we really don't even know, but regardless, that storyline is over, and it kind of didn't have a clear direction to some extent. So I would like to see Cavill have the opportunity to tell a purely Superman story. That's really well done prior to that, but either way, I'm down to see that for sure.
Yeah, I feel like he's such a good casting for Superman, and it kind of sucks that he just needs a good script.
Yeah,
I think again, Man of Steel is good. I like Man of Steel, even though some of this, much like in BVS, some of the stuff that Batman did in BVS, I guess you could say the same for Superman. Some of the stuff that Superman did in Man of Steel was questionable. As far as if you're a purist Superman fan or you're a purist Batman fan, you're like, well, the Superman I know wouldn't do that, or the Batman I know wouldn't do that, but whatever. But overall, again, I think if he had a good story, a good script, a good director because I just want that Superman movie that it's just, I said it before a long time ago. I think Wonder Woman with the Wonder Woman movie captured the tone. The Wonder Woman movie should have been the tone that Superman had, Man of Steel. That pure I'm a hero because I'm a hero. It doesn't nothing else matters.
Right.
You save people first.
Right.
It's like, what do you mean we're not gonna? We have to save them. We have to at least try. Like a true hero, a beacon, someone that everyone would want to aspire to.
Right.
A beacon of light. Hope. Basically, like a god among men. And we haven't really gotten that. And it felt they tried to do it in Justice League. But it felt so forced, where all of a sudden Batman's like, oh yeah, he was like a beacon of hope and light, and then even Superman when he came to fight Steppenwolf is like, I'm a fan of justice, and they try to give us those little things but it felt like you're just throwing a Band-Aid on stuff, and it was very after the fact, where that needs to be the core from the beginning, from the jump. Even the whole Superman's who played us Superman's father in Man of Steel again?
Kevin Costner.
No, his
in Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. Well, his Kryptonian father.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. There we go. Russell Crowe.
I'm getting all kinds of wires crossed. I got Superman all over the place in my head.
The multiverse, man. But no, he's even giving his son his speech when he's, he finds his suit and he's the first time he's learning how to fly and all that stuff. I'm like, yes, that, but like follow it for like all of it.
Yeah.
Not just that awesome like 5-minute flight scene.
Like a What Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
Something that really taps into the core of Superman, right? Because like it or don't, Zack Snyder's storytelling, he very much took the characters and he had them behave in an Elseworld type way, right? They were more violent than they typically are supposed to be in the comics as far as their traditional roots. Batman, for instance, killed freely and openly. And Zack Snyder has said, hey, get with it. This is the real world. People.
He's like, these characters really exist. They would do this.
Yeah, this is how they would. And that's fine. But in the comics, they don't.
But it's also like these characters don't exist and they'll never exist. So it's like, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So these comics don't exist. They are fictional characters. And in the comics, they're where they're derived from, they don't behave like this. And there are moral principles that they abide by for a reason. There's a message there. That's the whole point of the characters. Well, and so when you strip that away, you're stripping away the core of those characters. And again, that's fine. You want to tell an Elseworld story with these characters, we're all for it. But I think, and this is, I think, what the heart of what you're saying is tell a story that has the heart and the core of Superman, Batman present, which I'm hoping we're going to get from the Batman with Matt Reeves.
Oh yeah,
we're going to get the heart and the core of who Batman is and how he became, the Dark Knight and all that kind of thing. I thought Matt Nolan or Christopher Nolan did a really good job with that aspect of it too, of really showing Batman as the hero that that you need, not the one you want. Yeah, that sort of a thing. I would just like to see that done with Superman, and give Henry Cavill a chance to tell a story that really speaks to who Superman is, and like you said, follow his history, his roots to Krypton, and his.
Well, I feel like because I know an artist said who worked for DC Comics, he says when you go to DC, and you're working on, let's say, Superman, Batman, any of the big seven, right? So the Justice League characters, right? Like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, so on and so forth. They basically have a Bible. They give you, so let's say tomorrow I was hired to write Batman, right? DC would be like, okay, well, here's like basically a guideline, a book of like rules, what you can and cannot do. Like these are the core foundations of the character. If you have any ideas of things outside of this, we need to discuss and see how that fits to the bigger picture. But there's certain like things like no. This is this character, you cannot do that. And I like the accountability there. Like I feel like, yes, because these are fake characters, they're not real. Like I get it, you can do whatever you want with them because they're not real and whatever. But at the same time, people like these characters so much because they have been this way so long and stuff like that. And they are, as dumb as it may sound, these characters are real to a lot of people in a sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because the foundations and principles that they learn or follow them, they actually, a lot of people use in their own life. You know what I mean? So I feel like if they had that accountability with the movies and TV shows, like they do for the comics, that would be really cool.
Yes.
Or needed, I think. Or it's like, yes, but because when you're giving someone Superman and Batman, that's like a privilege. That's not like you're not a creator, and that's like, oh, I'm getting to write this character that's like, a pop culture icon, and there's responsibilities with that.
Yeah.
So I feel like there should be an accountability there. Like apparently DC does whenever you're jump on a comic. Obviously, now to that point, they have some crazy stories and change stuff, but that stuff in their writer summits they talk about, and it always reverts back anyway. But point I'm trying to make is, if they had that for the TV shows and movies, I think that would be something that could kind of help, where you're just not letting these directors whenever do whatever the heck they want.
Sure.
It's like, unless it's an Elseworld and stuff like that. But for the DCEU, which is basically the in continuity version of the movieverse, I think like some kind of accountability there would be helpful.
I agree 100%. And it just speaks to, what is literature, right? Whether it's comics, classic literature, novels, you name it, right? It speaks to, why do people get attached to characters? It's because there is narrative there that contains morals, that contains lessons, things that we derive from these characters' experiences. And so we then apply and turn around and, we project our own lives onto these characters. And in doing so, they become meaningful to us.
Mm-hmm.
So when you strip, like, I think that's part of the problem that we're seeing with a lot of the Star Wars.
Right.
People, having a lot of backlash about the Star Wars, recent Star Wars trilogy, is because we followed these characters go through a very specific arc, right? Luke, Han, Leia specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And they go through this kind of, the hero's journey, if you will. And then the new trilogy kind of undoes some of that. And those characters, like many other characters, like a Batman, like a Superman, they are meaningful to people because of certain things. With Batman, it's because of what he's willing to do as a human. He has no superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
What he's willing to go through and what he's willing to forego. He could take the easy way out
Mm-hmm.
and just kill the bad guy.
Right.
He can do that. He's both strong enough, smart enough. He has the tech, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't, because he says that's where I draw the line, because human life is valuable no matter who it is. And if I cross that line, I will become a monster.
Right.
Right? There's something to draw from that. There's a lesson to draw from that. And that it gives us, whether we realize it in the moment while we're reading it or not, it gives us a hope that maybe we could be like that too.
100%. Yeah.
And so same thing with Superman, Batman. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that it would be great if there was someone like a Kevin Feige who did say, okay, here's the guidelines, and there was some direct accountability.
That's a big problem with the movie. I guess the DCU in general, there isn't that one guy who's like, this is the vision. Usually, like, for any good storytelling, you need someone like steering the ship.
Yeah.
Like, this is the end goal.
And we're not talking about Elseworld stuff.
No. Just the DCEU.
Yeah,
like, in
the main
yeah.
continuity.
I don't know. I'm curious to see. Again, they've been doing better the last several movies.
For sure.
So.
We'll definitely give everybody the benefit of the doubt. There's a lot of people working very hard on it.
But the Michael B. Jordan thing, going back to that, which spawned all this big rant, I think it's going to happen, actually. I feel like that's not, like, if that rumor is true, which, I mean, there's a lot of big sites reporting on it, so it most likely is that he had a meeting with them. That's only a matter. It's not like if it's going to happen, it's when is it going to happen.
I would agree.
And that'll be fun. I say it all the time. I love Elseworld stories, so I would be really down to see it. But not to keep reiterating, I do, like you said earlier, would rather Henry Cavill get, get a good story first.
Yeah.
Like a Man of Steel 2. I want a Man of Steel 2 before I'd want that.
I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of wanted Michael B. Jordan. If it wasn't going to be Idris Elba, I kind of wanted Michael B. Jordan to play
John Stewart.
That
would have been
so
solid.
That would be kind of like a dang it, a little bit of a bummer.
Right.
But, again, I'm down. It's just we're in agreement. We hope Cavill gets another swing at it, before they go Elseworld or in another direction.
But staying in movie news, Black Panther. Black Panther 2.
Speaking of Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, speaking of Michael B. Jordan, it's obviously going to happen. It made all the money in the world.
Yeah.
And rumor has it that Dr. Doom is going to be the villain for Black Panther 2.
Which is crazy.
It is pretty crazy, isn't it? I'm very
I know
curious.
it's a rumor. We don't have any confirmations of anything. But if true, I'm kind of like, I already told you I'm back and forth on it. I'm just like, it's a very interesting place to introduce Dr. Doom.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess in the Marvel universe, any movie is as good as any other. I thought I was kind of like, it would have been cool to introduce in something maybe like the next Captain Marvel.
I'm just curious to see how they're gonna do it. I would imagine he would already have to be established. I mean, I don't know. It's MCU. They can do whatever they want. They could even tie him to, like, Wakanda and everything, like 100% if they wanted to. So I don't know. I kind of like the DC thing earlier. I'm just excited to see Doctor Doom, because I know if we're getting Doctor Doom, that just means Fantastic Four is really close behind. But yeah, I would rather see him in a Fantastic Four movie. I'm just kind of excited that I'm more so just excited that we're getting Doctor Doom, because I know that means that Fantastic Four is behind.
Which was a given.
Right.
Fantastic Four, we knew we were getting Fantastic
But they
Four.
haven't said anything. We're like, when?
Yeah.
It's like, we know it's coming, but this could be the first sign of, like, if this becomes official, we're like, oh, Fantastic Four is only like 2 years behind.
But for me, that also means that Doctor Doom is likely the big villain for the next phase.
That could
because
be
you're not
too.
introduced. Listen, heads will roll in the fandom if they introduce Doctor Doom and they do the typical one and done. There's no way, obviously, because he has to roll into a Fantastic. So that means that he's got to be an overarching villain
for sure. Kind of, but I feel like it would be more of an overarching villain like Loki, though. In that sense, I feel like he's more Loki tier.
That'd be crazy to me.
I would rather Galactus be like the big, like, cosmic villain, and then have, like, Doctor Doom more on, like, he crosses over, But like Galactus versus Doom, like obviously who's gonna win? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But I don't know that we need something as big as Galactus.
So would you not want like another Thanos level type like?
Because the difference between Thanos and Galactus feels like, how do you beat that?
He's a conqueror of worlds, devourer of worlds. That's awesome.
I feel like Galactus would be awesome, but I also worry like that might be too big. I know that they're going cosmic and they're going into space and all that kind of stuff.
But Doctor Doom, that all actually ties together though. So I wonder.
It does.
Because you got Doctor Doom, obviously, and then Fantastic Four, but that also means Galactus and Silver Surfer.
Yes.
That's like all in the same world.
It's all coming. You know, it's all coming. They acquired these characters. They wanted them desperately. We're going to get them. But I guess I'm just wondering, like, because again, I go back to Doctor Doom. You know how powerful Doctor Doom is in comics.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He is a monster of a villain. He's like borderline Thanos, just without the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Right. And to do him justice and to give him his day, like he could go up against most of these characters by himself.
He very well could.
I mean, he's one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously you get into the gods and things like that. But as far as villains go, he's certainly one of the most powerful villains.
So you would just want to see him.
I would just love to see them
so much. You want to see him
let him, at least for a few movies, just really let him turn loose. So where they have to get like a team together to battle him.
I was gonna say that's kind of what I was gonna say. I would like for them to obviously be in conflict with him for like a few movies, right, for a while. Fight him, see some cool stuff with Doctor Doom fighting some superheroes. But ultimately, Galactus arrives and he has to team up with Fantastic Four and all the other heroes to fight Galactus because that's like a force of nature, type thing. And then obviously Silver Surfer and all that stuff. So I think that could be cool. That would almost be like Secret Wars-esque. I think that'd be dope. Yeah,
well, I mean, the Secret Wars is what they've been hinting at, and it's like you're already hinting heavily at Secret Wars, and now you're introducing, if the rumor's true, you introduce somebody as powerful and big as a Doctor Doom. So now you add, maybe they go the route where like it's like 2 phases long this time,
right?
Where it's like. The next big one is like a Galactus, and we get the Herald, Silver Surfer.
There's just so many cool like Fantastic Four villains though.
Phase what are they? Phase 5?
Something like Phase 4.
Well, Phase 4 is this one.
This one, it is.
But they go through a new one with Doctor Doom.
But it's such a missed opportunity to not have Fantastic Four in Phase 4. Like the marketing alone would have been brilliant. But there's just so many cool Fantastic Four villains. Obviously, Doctor Doom, Kang the Conqueror would be another dope. That's another one that would.
That was rumored actually.
That would be a solid one.
They weren't. I don't think there was solid rumors, but there was rumors that Kang
because the whole time travel thing though too. Like there's so much you could do.
And they've already broken. They've already broken the they've already cut the ribbon on the time travel thing.
Exactly. Maybe that is like something they're going to be doing.
I don't know, man. That's what we were talking about last time. Is there's just so many directions they could go at this point. They've set up so many different possibilities.
Doctor Doom, Kang the Conqueror, Fantastic Four, Galactus, and Silver Surfer. That is like a whole. That is so much content right there. If you were to do that right, like, and not just cram it all into 2 movies or even a trilogy.
Yeah,
like,
and they are talking about, Kevin Feige confirmed they're going to continue at a pace at like 2 to 3 minimum. Was it 2 minimum?
A year.
Mm-hmm. But they're saying 3 movies a year is the anticipation, and they're going to continue at that clip. And that's not even touching on or including the Marvel series on Disney Plus.
That's another thing I was going to say. A lot of these characters you could probably just we're getting a Moon Knight series because that's another thing. He's probably going to cross over. There's just so much.
The Doctor Strange movie actually is supposedly going to have some real reveals and some game-changing stuff that's going to tell a lot about the direction because it's Scarlet Witch is supposed to appear, but it's also supposed to get really dark and there's a lot of it's very good. I guess they're going to go real cosmic with it,
right?
Very mystical. I guess they kind of described it as Marvel's first horror movie.
Well, they're saying that the Scarlet Witch show and the Loki series, I guess, are tying into Scarlet Witch.
It's Scarlet Witch and Vision. But I think that one's going to be a little bit more contained, self-contained, or might lead us into why she shows up in the Doctor Strange movie.
Well, they're saying that that's going to directly tie into the the new Doctor Strange movie.
Okay,
I read that that
makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's the main thing is that I think we're not going to really know like the broad direction that they're going in for a couple between the series and the movies for maybe a couple more years.
Right.
We're just going to be getting hints and teases, but I don't think we're going to know fully for a little bit.
Yeah, I think we could all agree though. We have lots of. I feel like it's an overload. Even like just here trying to like think of all the stuff to talk about. There's so much content.
Oh, you could go on and on and on.
But it's not even just Marvel. Like Marvel alone, like because there's so much stuff besides like all the Star Wars stuff, all the anime I watch. Just Rick and Morty just came back. There's so much content, and then
so much
the like comic books. It's like how do you even?
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
That's why we just talk about what we like.
Meaning, I'm going to be talking about Rick and Morty pretty soon here. I'm not current, but once I'm current, I'm going to start talking about that. So I think we're like 2 to 3 episodes in at the time of shooting this. But you got some Star Wars intel as far as leaks go.
I
that
do.
You're excited to talk
have
about.
Some Star Wars stuff, and we'll of course I will mention that the Mandalorian series continues to truck on. And that just continues to be awesome and a lot of fun.
I will say this episode 4 was my least favorite episode, though.
You mentioned that.
Yeah.
I really loved it. Baby Yoda is it's worth watching the show just for Baby Yoda.
Spoilers. This is a meme already, though. When he's drinking the soup.
Oh yeah. It just continues to be so good and something I look forward to every single week. But the Star Wars rumors that I'm talking about. They come from, as I've mentioned several times, my wife she knows what the leaked endings are.
That's so funny.
And she's keeping up on all the rumors, and she just keeps hinting at things.
Why does she want it spoiled for her, though?
She says she doesn't care. I said, you didn't care? She's like, no, I just don't care.
So is it fun for her to just like torment you, I guess, with it?
She wants to tell me desperately.
Okay.
She desperately wants to tell me, but she knows that would be.
Do we know it's for sure
very
real?
upsetting?
Like a real spoiler? Like is it confirmed that this is like how it's gonna end?
So here's what the recent these are heavy, serious rumors that are flying all over the place now. So we know that the end was rumored to have leaked.
Yeah, we talked about last podcast with the
and we talked about did it come from the script that J.J. Abrams revealed was, kidnapped.
I said the mattress. For people who didn't watch last week's podcast, that sounded really
strange.
Long story short, an actor left their script under the mattress in a hotel. Okay, that's it.
But yeah, so we thought maybe, last time we talked about it, that maybe the leaked ending came from the mattress fiasco, the mattress saga, the under the bed leaked script. Mm-hmm. So now the rumors that are flying all over the place is that the leaked ending came from Disney doing private screenings to test. They're doing test screenings of the film with audiences. And that the first time they did it, the audiences were very unhappy.
Okay.
And that's where the leaked ending came from. People talked about it despite NDAs, et cetera, et cetera.
Naturally.
Now, because the internet, yeah. But now, I guess they've gone back and they reworked some things. And again, this is rumor, but it is heavy rumor. Mm-hmm. That now they've gone back and reworked some things. They did more test screenings and people got up and walked out.
So they made it worse is what you're saying.
That people are still, because, and this is the main point, because I guess the thing that the fans, the audiences that are watching it are unhappy about, they refuse to change. There's an aspect to it. Again, I have made sure, don't tell me anything. I don't want to know. But now it's got all these speculative things going through my head of what it could be, what it likely might be. And because she's like, now basically what they're staunchly unwilling to change the aspects that people are most unhappy about during the test screenings. Mm-hmm. So they're reworking these other things to see if they can lessen it, but they're not changing the main issue.
Well, it's probably because of that's how it's going to end. That's how it's going to end. You'd be changing
because
the entire movie.
Because I guess they want it to end on a specific note or a specific point or whatever.
Specific character.
A specific character. So now it's got me wondering all kinds of things because I got all these thoughts in my head of the title is Rise of Skywalker. What if who everybody thinks is Palpatine becomes Skywalker. Luke Skywalker becomes some form of a villain. Or if it's Anakin and not Palpatine.
I don't even care. You want to know why? We got the Mandalorian.
Yeah. That's kind of what but my point is that, all of that seems nonsensical that I'm throwing out there, but it's got all these thoughts going through my head of what is it that they could have done? that has people so aggravated? Now, again, this is all rumor. Nothing is official.
Yeah.
This is
What
all.
if this is Disney
but
just
these
throwing that
are
fake information
rumors.
out?
Maybe so. Maybe so. But I don't know why Disney would throw out rumors that is negative towards their film.
Because then Ashton Kutcher comes out, and we see that we're punked.
But the point is that these rumors that are circulating, they're coming from people that are inside. They're insiders. They're coming from people that supposedly know what's going on around the film and these test screenings. And it apparently has not done well in test screenings, and that audiences are not thrilled where they leave it. And despite things that they may have changed or tweaked, the thing that people have been most unhappy about is being left. So it's just got all kinds of things bouncing around in my head of what it is that they could have done. I'm very anxious to see it now because now I just freaking want to know.
Yeah.
Because my wife is just sitting in front of me like with this look of like, I want to tell you so bad. And it's just like I need to see this movie before it gets spoiled because my wife is she's a walking rumor mill now.
Just once December hits, I stop reading comments. I'm just like, screw it. Every time a big movie's around the corner, I don't even do it.
We're right around the corner. It's only a couple weeks out, and we've already got our tickets to go and see it and screen it and review it for you guys. But I'm anxious to see it at this point, and I'm really curious to see where this ends out.
I'm totally in the like. I'm not excited. I'm just thinking, yeah. I'm like, you could probably tell.
Whatever.
I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like, again, I got Mandalorian. I got the original trilogy.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, like I said, the Mandalorian continues to be great, and I anticipate this movie is going to have some things that are really cool, and we'll see how they end it out. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. J.J. Abrams did a good job with Force Awakens.
That is true. I did enjoy that one.
But with that's
going to bring this episode of the podcast to a close.
Yep.
But we want to remind everyone to follow us. You can follow us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, and our Variant the Podcast channel. Be sure to subscribe because these episodes actually go up a day early on that channel.
They go up on Mondays on the Variant Podcast YouTube channel, and then they go up on the Variant channel the next day. At least for now, that's going to end in the near future.
Yeah, on a date that we decide in the future.
We haven't decided yet.
But with that said, that's going to bring today's episode to a close. And we'll see you guys next time when we talk about all things comics.